So, do the Warriors have enough on this roster right now to compete for another title? I still say, great win. Great stretch here at home. But no, they're still going to need some significant help. Kyle disagrees with me, as he always does.
That's not true. I don't always disagree with you. No, I've come here for an argument. And who?
See, you're dragging me into the Wiseman conversation again.
No,
and I'm not prepared to go there at this time. It's a fair question.
I don't even want to get into compensation because that's a whole other thing. What type of player? Because I threw out Rudy Gay. Like, yeah, hey, he can be elite's a type player for you. Knock down a couple threes, knows where to be on the court. Maybe gets 10 minutes. And you said no, they need more than that. So, who is it? Like, what type of name? And maybe the person's available, maybe they're not. What type of name are you talking about?
We'll get back to that. It's a fair question. I just don't want to derail the whole conversation at this point. But we definitely, I need to address that in order to present a fair and
because maybe
argument.
I'll agree with you.
Well, you can't. You've already disagreed with me. Andre in Oakland, 95-7 the game. What'd you think of that win last night, Andre?
Very good win by the Dubs. Hey, not to derail it, but there's a guy that's kind of sitting on the bench that hasn't got any playtime who's kind of that guy, and he has my same name as Andre Iguodala.
Mm-hmm.
If he would get on the floor, maybe that could be the guy that we were looking for. We need a veteran, need a smart guy, need a guy who plays multiple positions. But we're not going to get distracted by that. He needs give up the roster spot or get on the floor. Okay, but I didn't call about him. I called because I think you guys can help me out. I want to know how I've been disappointed in the play of Dante DiVincenzo. I've been expecting more of him, but I also have the thought that maybe my expectations aren't correct. Maybe I don't know what to expect of him in terms of not to be a superstar, but what is his impact? I don't know that he's made much of an impact. So I'm not saying he's not playing well. He's doing a couple things well, but what is his impact? I don't know how to judge him if he's doing better than expected, worse than expected, because these pieces matter. These are key pieces, and what's his impact? I'm a little lost on that. So I'm calling to look for some help on what's your take on Dante DiVincenzo. Should we even expect him to impact anything? Is he just a ball handler? That's my kind of open-ended question.
Thank you, Andre. I appreciate that. Dante DiVincenzo last night obviously was very good, and then the night before he technically started as a small forward, didn't shoot the ball well, but he had a lot of assists, didn't he, Kyle?
Yeah, I think he had 9.
Yeah. So to answer your question, Andre, they rely on him to do a lot of things fairly well. They don't necessarily rely on him to carry the day here or there, but he's shown he can be a good shooter. He didn't get off to a great start this year, and he really has struggled since he had a really bad ankle injury a couple years ago with the Bucks, and the Bucks moved off of him, and then Sacramento had him, and they weren't crazy about keeping him. So the Warriors were hoping to see a little bit of a return to his past glories. And after a slow start, I think they're pretty pleased with him. He's a guy that they counted to do a lot of things. He can run the offense. He can play off the ball. He's a heady passer. And as we saw last night, when he's on, he's a good three-point shooter too.
It was 7 assists and 9 boards a couple nights ago. And then last night, just to kind of further your point, he goes, 5 of 9 from 3, 4 boards, couple assists, 19 points. So I think, jack of all trades, master of none type of guy. He's fine defensively. He's not a great defender, but
certainly a willing defender. I think he was a better defender before that terrible injury, so he's still kind of working back to that.
And he so much of what the Warriors do on both ends is just like be in the right spot, like just make the right play, read and react on offense. And I think DiVincenzo is good at that. Like he's just not going to be a detriment on a night-to-night basis.
Looking at it from the Warriors' standpoint, okay, shorthanded right now without Steph. This is where we really need Dante to do some of the things that we brought him in to do. And the last couple of nights, he's doing them. That's good.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yep.
And if he's knocking down shots too,
And-
they're very pleased with that at this point. He's playing better, so keep an eye on him, Andre. I understand your point, but I think he's playing a lot better lately.
And he's also not in the, like when we talk postseason rotation, he's not going to play 40 minutes a night.
Well, but he's going to play.
He's going to play, and he's going to get
he's a guy,
significant
if he doesn't
run.
play well, you feel it because you count on him.
Right,
Yeah.
and he's going to get significant run, but he has an outsized role right now because Steph is out. Clay was out last night. So that I think they're relying on him more than they're going to come playoff time.
You know what else I really like about DiVincenzo? He's shown some leadership. A couple weeks ago when they were struggling, really struggling, he said, we need to get back to playing like the Warriors. Now, he just got here, but yet coming from him, it's like he clearly understands.
Right.
And that was an important message. You know, you'd maybe prefer that one of your veterans said that, but he understands what this is all about here.
Yeah.
And how it's supposed to work.
And he picked it up pretty quickly, too.
Yeah.
There wasn't that, like you see Jonathan Kuminga, who's been here for a year and a half, granted, has played much less basketball than DiVincenzo has, especially in the NBA. But there's been that adjustment period, and there's all the talk of you have to adjust, learn how to play with Steph, learn how to play in this offense. And I think he's picked up that adjustment pretty quickly.
He was really good last night. Obviously, they don't win without him, but you could say that about a lot of guys. Also, I agree with Andre about Iguodala, that maybe he's the answer. If he's anything close to Andre Iguodala, he comes back. Maybe that's the major addition.
But even that, he's given you how many minutes? 10?
This
12?
year? Oh, you mean down the road? How many? Yeah.
Like so if that's the kind of addition you're making, it just feels like that's a level below the kind of player you're talking about.
I think so. And I think ideally he's a guy that's available in the postseason. Like, hey, can you guard so-and-so? We need to derail just to change it up on whoever it is.
Yeah.
Can you get back to a point where you're healthy enough to guard some of the guys that you used to be able to guard?
Well, and
of varying sizes.
Well, okay. And that's very interesting because I had not thought about that. If you have Jonathan Kuminga, who's playing defense at a good level right now, I don't want to say pretty high level, but he's playing defense well. He guarded in back-to-back games John Morant and LaMelo Ball and did a good job on both of them. If you have him with Andrew Wiggins, we saw what Andrew Wiggins did in the postseason last year, and you have Klay Thompson, who when Klay Thompson wants to ratchet it up defensively, can still do it. I don't think he can do it night in and night out, but we saw in the finals, it's like halfway through game 4, it was just like, okay, here's the switch. It's on. I'm going to lock up Jaylen Brown now. And it's like, oh, there he is. I think the Warriors have enough defenders now and good rangy wing defenders that Andre Iguodala doesn't have to check Damian Lillard. He can go hang out on a lesser offensive player and take them out of the game, where you could see the Warriors in the postseason having a like defense first lineup of like Steph, Kuminga, Iguodala, Clay, and Draymond, and or Wiggins instead of Clay or whatever, and being able to just shut a team down defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just, you're not going to score. We may not score a ton, but you're also not going to score.
Defense won the game for him last night.
Yeah.
Regina in Oakland, 95-7 the game. Regina, does this Warrior team need help to compete for another title, or do they have everything they need on the roster?
No, I'm just like, where is this show? I look for.
Hello? What the heck happened there? Yeah.
So
something went wrong there.
So what he wanted to talk about said what happened to Draymond's podcast. And maybe that was him looking for the podcast.
That's probably it.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah. Well, let's try Steve in San Francisco. Steve, you're on with Kyle Madsen, Whitey Gleason. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Hey.
What's up, Steve?
Hey, this young man, Andre, made a call earlier talking about Dante's contributions. He didn't think he was contributing like he should. I respectfully disagree with this young man. You know, allow me to retort.
Please.
This kid has been playing his heart out. I think defense is great. Offensively, he knows how to get the ball to somebody on a break when he's open, when they're open. He can shoot the three. He can shoot the mid-range. I mean, this kid is doing something that we need right now, coming off the bench and starting when Clay can't play a back-to-back. So, I don't know. I'm seeing something different, or am I missing something?
No, you're right. He's doing a
agree
lot
with
of the
him.
things right now. He's
I
doing a
agree.
lot of the things right now, especially on this homestand,
agree with Steve.
that they need him to do.
Shooting a career high 38.9% from three.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not realize that. Doesn't surprise me, but I didn't know it was that high.
Yeah. I mean, he's not going to be an all-star, but he's a contributing rotation player, and I think that's why the Warriors brought him in.
Mm-hmm. Let's try Regina once again in Oakland, 95.7 The Game. Y'all squared away, Regina?
Yes, we're here.
What can we do for you today?
Hey guys, I was just wondering. We had the punch, and I really don't want to get back into that. They said they would handle the punch internally. They have handled it internally. But what happened to Draymond Green's broadcast? It just all of a sudden disappeared. And then two, do you feel like Dre is rubbing off on Poole as far as all these recent texts he's getting, and how that's going to affect the Warriors moving forward?
Thank you. I don't know anything about the podcast. You, Kyle, I'll give you a chance to, if you have any information there. I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't think Draymond's rubbing off on Poole. Poole has developed this, I don't know what it is. I don't think it has anything to do with the punch or Draymond. He just gets so indignant now when he's called for a foul. Last night, he was chicken winging defenders. He was doing the same thing that LaMelo did the night before against Kuminga.
Yeah.
Because it's like the officials let him play last night. I think the Warriors ultimately benefited from that. But Poole doesn't always play well when they allow other teams to get physical with him. So he's given the chicken wing and he gets called for a foul. And at one point, it's almost like Looney had to hold him back from going after the official. So I don't know what's going on with that. He has to, you can get upset about this or that. If I didn't foul him, but it's almost like, how dare you call a foul on me? And that has to stop, Kyle.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. Like, I don't know what exchange happens. I don't know what is said and what goes on during a game that might lead to that. But just on the surface, like, yeah, man, he committed a foul. And maybe it's built up frustration because he doesn't feel like he's getting calls.
Yeah.
But it's like a pitcher. Like, you see what the strike zone is for you, and then you see what the strike zone is for your hitters, and it's different. Like, it's got to be a little frustrating. I think it's along those same lines. But again, you know what the official said or what he said to the official, and yeah, and it was a weird reaction though. He physically you saw his face get angry and his fists are all balled up.
Yeah,
a weird thing.
Very very unusual. I could understand how maybe he feels like he's been a little bit singled out when it comes to the traveling calls, but on the other hand, you know what, you have been one of the people who's been guilty of that more than others. So, the best players in the world, to me, you should be playing by the rules.